What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Turbo today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. It is the 17th of July, my friends. Here we are at about half a cent, 0.0569. 6 hours, 28 minutes left in the day. Chilling. Looking at the RSI, we got pretty overbought, didn't we? We went all the way up to the 80, a little bit above there, and now we are out of the overbought. So I think this is a good thing, right? You want to be... Sorry, I'm just looking at Bitcoin. What did it just do? 15-minute time frame. Oh, it didn't do anything. Okay. You want to be overbought. That's a good thing, but you want to cool off as well, right? You can't go forever. You can't just move up forever non-stop, right? You can't break above a 100 reading on the RSI. And in fact, the higher you go, the harder it is to achieve those levels and sustain those levels. So moving up like this in a fantastic fashion, having some insignificant red days, right? Just consolidating like this, and that allows your RSI to come down. That's nice, right? That's actually very, very nice. Cooling off is a good thing. It allows you to run higher inevitably. Let's see if we can find it. I mean, for example, here you topped off, you cooled off, you did run higher. It wasn't really what I'm thinking, as far as that goes. But maybe here on the other side of things, you got oversold here. You're at your low point, cooled off, and then you were able to run lower because of that, right? So we're going to cool off here. Perhaps what we do is we find a higher low in the RSI, something like we have, maybe bounce off the 60, some kind of area above there. That would be a good look in itself. Getting overbought out of the overbought zone and back into the overbought zone is phenomenal. That's good. That's very good behavior, and I'm expecting some good behavior out of this. We're consolidating now just at the prior areas that we were finding resistance before. Okay, so I don't expect this drop to be anything significant. I don't even think it'll be semi-significant. It's just going to be very stagnant and boring, and you're probably just going to move sideways, essentially, up and down over the coming days. I would think sometime next week we start to move up again, right? I don't think that this will last long. This consolidation was a long time, right? That was like a month. I don't think that it'll be a month that you consolidate. I think it'll be like a week that you consolidate, and you're already 3 days underway. So between now and like 4 days from now, or maybe even a little bit later than that, but nothing too long. If we look at this on the 1 hour time frame, you do have a lower low, lower high setup, right? Lower highs, lower lows here. Bearish divergence probably takes you down to that oversold area. You'll form some bullish divergence or something like that at the base. Maybe over the weekend you find your low, right? Saturday or Sunday. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, somewhere in that time frame, you should be moving up again. Okay, so looking at this here, assuming that you go lower, looking at the stochastics, the MACD, it all looks like you want to go lower. Where can we assume that you're going to go? You broke out of your little pennant pattern to the downside. Can you see it? You see the pennant right here? Symmetrical triangle, whatever. Broke out of it to the downside. Even like back tested your breakout point right there. Let's do this. I bet this one will take us there. Let's see. Actually, first, let's see. Are you respecting the fibs, high to low? Yes. Golden ratio resistance. I think that's respect, man. Good way to tell if you're respecting your fibs. Do you respect the golden ratio? If you respect the golden ratio, then yes. If you don't, then maybe, but probably not. Golden ratio support, 0.5 resistance, down you go. I would expect that you're down at 0.005 to 0.0469. So a whole tenth of a cent down at the most. Let's put some lines there. Okay, let's do that. Put some lines right there at the 1272. And then at the 1618 right there, we'll delete the fibs and we'll just zoom out. I mean, the 1618 makes a lot of sense, right? Back test prior areas of support. You might even wick just below there, right? Let's look at the 4 hour time frame. Yeah, I'm with it, man. Something in this zone. Let's make this zone a little bit more broad too. Just a little bit, nothing too crazy. Just right there, right? You're going to go back to where you found support before, or where you found resistance before. Does that make sense? I think that's pretty easy to assume. What about this one? Right, because this is essentially your 1272 to the 1618. This line, we moved it a little bit lower, so it's a little bit lower than the 1618, but not too much, nothing too crazy. We take a low here to a high there. 382. It's perfect, man. It's literally perfect. I doubt you go down here. I doubt you do. I bet what you do is you either find direct support off of that, you make contact, or you wick just a little bit below it, and then you find support. I really like this area, so we're going to refine this zone a little bit, if I had any expectations. Now, at the low end, 0.0465 could be where you go. At the high end, 0.05. But likely it'll be something between 0.05 and 0.04. 0.484. Okay, something in that range. That's my expectation. You'll likely find support there, either I would think on Saturday or Sunday. It could be tomorrow. Just because you find your low, right? Let's assume you're doing something like this. Lower lows, lower highs. Let's assume you're doing something like this. Just because you find your low doesn't mean it's ready to rip, but it could. I mean, you've seen some pretty good reactions before, but here you found your low and it took you like a day before you really started to move up. Here you found your low and it took you like a day before you started to move up. This is the 4-hour time frame, so that is about a day. 6 candles is 1 day. Here you had a positive reaction, but again, found your low. It took you about a day and a half, and then you moved up, right? So don't anticipate that you'll just move up dramatically once you find your low. I would think that you probably consolidate, and then Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, that'll be when you break out. And when you drop down here to about 005, 00483, you'll know that you've validated your low once you get back above 00565. But I'll probably tell you that on the days to come, whenever it's time. I don't think I have anything else that I want to say. We've talked about it. We've gone over it. Let's look at the daily time frame real quick. I mean, very bullish, right? That's a very bullish look, crossing above the 0 line on your MACD. Stochastics are postured in the right way. So is the RSI. You're just going to consolidate, man. It's nothing crazy, nothing too crazy at all. And the exciting stuff hasn't even happened yet, man. Like, think about it like this. Let's go into this, okay? Were you moving up before this MACD crossed above the 0? Were you moving up? Yes, you were moving up. But when it crossed above the 0, what happened? You moved up a lot more in a lot shorter of a time, right? You were moving up here when the stochastics were out of the oversold zone, right? You were moving up in the price. But when you got overbought, things moved up a little bit faster, but not really too crazy. But you did actually move up pretty dramatically once you were overbought. That's actually a weak reading. That didn't really go well. The stochastics are iffy sometimes. But same thing over here, right? You're moving up. You got overbought, moved up more. Got overbought, moved up even more. RSI, though, is a little bit more telling. Once you got overbought, that's when you saw some fantastic growth. Okay, so looking at this on the weekly time frame, you're not even overbought on the RSI. You're not even overbought on the stochastics. Your MACD has yet to cross above the 0, but you have been moving up. So as exciting as this week might have been for you turbinites out there, you turbines, and you had an overall 50% pump from a low to a high this week, next week or the following week, the end of this month and the beginning going into August, that's when the real excitement happens, man. I mean, over the next 3 weeks, you're probably going to be at new all-time highs. Not this week, but over the next 3 weeks. And it'll all start with the cross above the 0 here, the overbought here, and the overbought here. It's all coming. All coming together, right? Foresight. Think about it, right? You had the same look over here. You weren't overbought yet, but you were moving up. You finally got overbought on the RSI and on the stochastics, and then boom, you're already up on the MACD. But in all fairness, you crossed green. Maybe that was a foreshadowing, right? And then boom. Imagine if you had the foresight back here. It's too late. It already pumped. It's off its lows. Yeah, but look at where these indicators are going, man. It's the big move's coming. It's coming, right? What is a big move for this thing? Let's end this video here pretty soon, okay? Big move, 251%. This week you moved up 279%. This week you moved up 132%. I bet, oh man, next week? Is it going to be next week you move up 200%, man? Or more? You guys, you could be at new all-time highs next week. If it's not next week, certainly within the next 3 weeks, but when you do get your big move, it's going to be probably a 200% move, or at least something that's above like 170%. That'd be my guess. Which is nuts. It's absolutely chaotic, and well, I think that's coming. So I got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, take care. Bye.